Music Matters custom install, after all, are about media, so you wouldn't expect us to be proficient in data networking and Wi-Fi. But over the last few years particularly, more and more products are using data networking to control, to stream, and of course then we want to do it wirelessly using the Wi-Fi. So a few years ago, you could go in and stick a few access points that you've bought from your local shop down the road and get away with it. But the demands on Wi-Fi now are huge, with multiple devices being used by lots of people in the home, streaming from YouTube, Facebook, etc. And then you want to use your iPad to control your audio system, and suddenly it won't connect to the network, or you're streaming something and you turn it round and you put it down and suddenly the stream stops. There's a very good reason for this. And Music Matters, we've gone to great lengths to ensure that the Wi-Fi system we put in your home is of a professional standard, using professional standard product. And in order to do that, the first thing we do is we don't come along with a load of product. What we come along with is a laptop and a long length of cable, and we survey your house. We survey your house using some software that allows us to locate the best positions for your access points, how many access points we want to use, and what type of access points. The placement of access points is very, very important. For instance, I wasn't aware that plasterboard can cut your Wi-Fi by 6 decibels. That's a massive amount. And underfloor heating, water, is another huge barrier to Wi-Fi signals. Obviously other things like reinforced concrete, putting a mesh in the wall, all these things make a huge difference to how Wi-Fi propagates around the house. So what we do is we come to your home, we survey it using your existing Wi-Fi, perhaps if you've got one, and we look at how we can improve that using a much higher quality product and correctly positioned in the home. We did a lot of research and we decided, or concluded I should say, that the product that we wanted to use and would seem to give us the best results was a brand called Luxul. Luxul produce a range of routers, switches, PoE switches. PoE stands for Power over Ethernet, and we need one of those because their access points get their power from the switch, so we don't need to place them next to a power point, and so you don't see them cluttering up your living room. They then produce a number of access points that allow us a lot of flexibility in position. And of course, if you've got a device like an iPad, it can pick up the signal coming from the iPad and drag it in a lot better. So where do we want to put these in your home? Well, we won't know unless we go to the home and do a survey. And we use a piece of software on our PC that allows us to create a map on the home, such as you're seeing on my laptop there. What you're seeing on the screen here is what we've produced using our piece of software, where we map the home to ensure that the Wi-Fi access point actually goes in the right place in your home to give good coverage. This was a 3-story residence made of solid concrete with underfloor heating, 2 of the biggest barriers to Wi-Fi signals you can imagine. And obviously you add into that metal structure, air conditioning ducts, metal framework for the plasterboard, foil back plasterboard, and we're up against it. And frankly, if we've been using conventional products, I think we would have ended up with about 6 or 7 access points to try and cover this house. By using this software and using a quality product like Luxul, we were able to identify a position over the stairwell in the ceiling on the first floor that gave us 1 access point that gave us good signal strength and good coverage throughout both the first and the ground floor. Even moving it a couple of feet to the left just made that enough biggest difference so that the study, which is on the ground floor in the corner here, which was a little bit low on our first positioning, we were able just to modify that by just moving the access point a whole 2 feet to the left, I believe it was. And the access point we used in that installation was the unidirectional one, and so all you saw was this little white plate flush in the ceiling. You never even notice it. That got us the first and the ground floor, and in the basement area, which the stairwell continues down into the basement here, we could actually stand at the bottom of the stairwell and still get Wi-Fi, but as soon as you moved away, the signal just dropped off a cliff, which is actually what we wanted to happen. We wanted so the people, if they walked down the stairs, the device they were using, such as an iPad or something like that, would suddenly go, I can't log onto the Wi-Fi, I'll look for something else, and immediately found another access point with a much stronger signal. And in the basement we used an omnidirectional one with the aerial orientated like that, so that it's covered horizontally rather than vertically. And that ensured that we got full coverage in that house with 2 access points. Nobody believed us we'd do that. Just to finish off with, the ancillary products that go with the access points are just as important. A very good high quality router that allows us to have remote access is very useful for custom installation work. The Luxul will do a nice neat router that achieves that. We can use any modem we like with it. We do have our favourites, I won't name them by brand. And we've all seen these devices called switches, which enable us to connect lots of devices to our network on cables, such as our media servers and so on, and computers. And they're called gigabit switches. Beware. Very few of them are true gigabit switches. Most of them will only give you gigabit on up to about 4 ports. The rest, then it gets distributed on all the other ports. So your actually network data transfer speed reduces the more and more devices you put on the system. With Luxul, we guarantee you a gigabit per port. So we don't compromise the data transfer for the number of devices that we put on. If you would like your home to be surveyed and get a quality, strong signal, high data transfer network installed in your home, please visit us at www.musicmatters.co.uk.